name's Gavin Epperson. So, Mr. Ketterling, I do have a quick question for you. What do you have any plans for changing anything recently or upcoming future?
That's a big question. I think there's always plans, there's goals, things you like to see change throughout the district in the time that you're here. I think one of the bigger plans that we have on the horizon that we're kind of working on right now is trying to get enough funding to put a new concession stand and restroom out by the track and football area. We've had a lot of donors that have contributed to that, and so continuing to watch that fund kind of increase so we can get in position to add that. So that's a big change coming. As far as other pieces, it's just a lot of it's day-to-day things. A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that happens that people don't necessarily always see, but are still impactful to the district, impactful to the kids and the community. So it's kind of one of those just ongoing things where looking for opportunities to see progress, whether it's, in the classroom, whether it's, new or additional staff that are coming on, whether it's projects around the district. And so, kind of just looking at things as they come from day to day and having those conversations with community members, school board, staff.
Awesome. Yeah, Gavin likes to jump straight to it. He likes to go, let's get the big ones out of the way. No, that was good. And I think you even answered some questions, but I'm going to follow up on one of those. So, so is it a concession stand? Is it a concession stand and bathroom? Like, just for the community, if they hear that, like what does that entail? I know we kind of mentioned it on here when we talked to Nikki Shira right before the Hawaii Off-Road Challenge, but just give us a little bit more information maybe on that one real quick. And alumni, if you're listening, like we're just throwing that out there right now. We're so grateful for our sponsors. Please check out all their videos we have on our website. And then, we play their video at the end of this, and please check out who those people are. They're always giving. I'm sure they've probably even helped donate to a lot of this stuff too. But also, if you're an alumni and you want to give back, this is a good way to do it. So maybe answer those two questions. How can alumni that are far away maybe but still want to give back to a school that gave a lot to them, how can they help? And then two is just a small little detail of what's the focus to get, I know those buildings are really old out there and it's rough sometimes, but what's the focus there?
Good questions. The biggest thing is we're kind of looking at that structural piece out there is it's currently, a concession stand and restrooms, and it's not the most functional. It's not the most eye appealing when you come to track meets. You come to football games, and so it's kind of one of those pieces that we're really looking to improve upon, be able to make it more beneficial for the community as well as the people that work in the concessions. And so ideally the plan is that we would ultimately demolish the current building, put a new building in that place that would be larger, have more restroom facilities in there, as well as have a larger space for the concession that will be able to make the concessions easier, be able to offer more opportunities, and just create a nice addition that has been lacking down there for a lot of time.
Yeah.
As far as alumni donors that want to contribute to that, so right now all of the funding, the donations that have been made are going through the PTO, and the, trying to remember if it's PTO or the boosters.
One of those two.
It's one of those two.
Probably talking to any of those people could probably get in the
Yeah,
right spot. I mean,
yeah.
they'd probably help us out there.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest ones there is, having a lot of conversations with LaDawn Bays, who's kind of overseeing all of that and kind of helping with that on her end, so that that funding is all kept in one place, and
Nice.
as we kind of get numbers back on costs and things like that, then we're able to evaluate, how much more do we need, where do we need to go, what does it kind of need to look like, and I think in a perfect world, it's one of those things that you want done right now, but at the same time, any type of construction right now, facilities, things like that, it's pretty expensive, and we want to make sure that we're getting what we want and what the community needs, and so it's going to take a little bit of time, but we've already there's been tons of donations that have come in, and so we're definitely going in the right direction, and we'll just kind of see how that goes and keep building onto that that pot of money to make that change in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think that speaks volumes for our community. We just have a great community. Shout out to everybody that is always giving in whatever aspect or way they can, whether it's their time, people that are fortunate that can, help with money and things like that. Like, it's just awesome. Just to kind of to build off of that, because give us a little bit about you for a second, Mr. Ketterling. Like, how many years have you been here? And well, let's start with that. How many years have you been here? And just maybe if there's something you want to add there, and then I'll turn back over to Gavin and let him come up with one of his great questions. I know it's turning over there. I can see it.
Sure.
Don't happen very often.
So I'm finishing up my 4th year here, and it's been a fantastic journey to come over here, to be part of the community over here, be able to lead the Adrian School District, and just have a great teamwork atmosphere. We've been able to see a lot of positive things that have happened throughout the district, and are continuing to happen as we plan year in and year out. It's just been fantastic. The community over here is it's special. I remember the first time I came over here, and I was part of the homecoming pep assembly my first year, and I'd never seen anything like it. And it still blows my mind every time we have our community assemblies, our musical performances, anything like that.
Where did all these people come from?
You're right. Yeah. No, it really is. It's special, and it's something I think that when you probably live in the community and you see it, event after event and year after year, it's not. You come to expect it.
Yeah.
But coming from the outside and being in other districts and different places, it's very unique, and it's cool to be a part of. So, yeah.
Awesome. So my question is, how do you feel about sports and education and all that? Because you're an educator yourself. So how do you feel that sports help people's education?
Sure, that's a fantastic question. So I'm a big sports person. I'm also obviously in education for the betterment of kids. I've coached a lot in the past. My 2 daughters are involved in all different kinds of sports, and so I see a tremendous amount of benefits in sports for students. School isn't for every kid, and sometimes our kids have to find that niche of why they want to come to school. Why do they want to be here? Because the school is just school. And for some of them, that those activities or those sports are really that driving factor that help them come to school every day and essentially end up graduating. You know, and I think it's also important that in that realm of activities and sports that you have success. You know, if you're in a position where you're part of something and there's never success, it's hard to, one, continue to still want to be part of that, and two, that's the driving force that keeps you coming to school. And, you know, Adrian has a tremendous amount of success, not just in athletics, but in activities as well. We have continued clubs that are growing and opportunities for kids outside of athletics, but we have a tremendous amount of success in everything that our kids are involved in, and they want to be involved in that. We continue to see numbers increase in athletics as well as activities, and a lot of that comes back to the success of the program. It comes back to our coaching staff, and then, you know, it obviously comes back to them having to take care of things in the classroom, and our staff that want our students to be successful not only outside of the classroom but as well as inside the classroom. And so there's a balance that has to get played there. You can have one without the other, but you're not going to have as much success, and it's not going to be the most beneficial for the students. And so you've got to have that balance there, and I think that understanding that academics always has to come first, because for, you know, most of students in high school, they're not going to go on and have a career in sports. They're not going to be able to support themselves in sports or other activities. It's going to come back to that education that they've been given and they've earned, and over time being a part of a school community that isn't just about that education, but it's about hard work, it's about perseverance, it's about, you know, that grit mentality. And so, you know, in Adrian, that's something that's accomplished really well. It's not perfect by any means, but it's something that we're always looking to strive for, always looking to better ourselves at, put the kids in the best position possible to be the most successful while they're in high school as well as when they graduate and go on to do what they want to do after high school, or set them up in the best possible way so that they can work to get to what they want to do.
Yeah, I love that. I was just looking at something, or I was listening to somebody I know the other day that's a very successful businessman, you know, younger than me, and is already like a millionaire and stuff. And I was listening to him, and he has people that are kind of going underneath his, and he says, parents, please teach your kids hard work, because he's like, every single one that's been successful under his program he's like, they're all from different aspects, you know, people that have left different things, but he's like, hard work is something that like they all have in common. And I think that goes to show, you know, we like to say farm kids, country kids, things like that, but we really do have that environment, and even the kids, you know, that just like you said, their work ethic. So let's get some fireball questions real quick. So it's like really quick answers. And so what's your favorite sport?
Oh geez, that's hard. To like play, watch, coach. Play. So probably football would be my favorite to play.
All right. And then, oh man, now I forgot one. Gavin, if you have one, jump in on this.
What's your favorite snack food?
Very important.
Favorite snack food. Oh my gosh. So some people know about me about this, some people don't. So I have a problem with sugar. I like anything with sugar. I love sugar. And so I have to be really careful, because it's in my house. My girls and my wife know it. Once Dad starts, he has a hard time stopping. And so pretty much anything with sugar in it, I'm down for. I I got to be careful about it because I have a hard time.
Don't worry, all the little elementary kids, they haven't been watching this yet. Otherwise, you might have been like right at the end of the year, like just
There
candy
you
coming
go.
in like
Yep.
crazy. But that's funny. Going back to something you said just made me ask or think of this really quick. Is there anything? I know that you probably say I hear it at board meetings sometimes and stuff. But is there anything like academically in our testing and stuff like that? Like, a lot of people don't always get to hear that. Like, what is our testing above the state?
Yeah, so we have a lot to be proud of and thankful for in terms of our schools. I'll say specifically our reading scores, ELA scores, are some of the highest in the state at any level in the state.
Nice.
Our math scores, depending on the grade level you look at, same type of thing. And I think it's great because the teachers are never satisfied with what is being put out or how students are testing. They always are looking for ways to improve. They're looking for ways of, could I have done this different for this student or this class so that they could have performed better. And I think that's part of the big piece there is they're not just settling, we're at 50%. We're sitting in a good place. We're 20% higher than the state. And so that's good. But no, it's the mentality of, if all the kids aren't proficient, then what do we need to do differently? It's not just the goal of outperforming the state average.
It's about the individual.
It absolutely. It's about what can the kid do, and those students that aren't going to be proficient, because there's always going to be those kids that aren't proficient for whatever reason. Looking at how much are they growing?
Yeah.
And that's just as important as being proficient, especially to be able to show the kids and explain that to the kids that here's how much you grew from this grade to this grade, and enjoying that success. And the state doesn't necessarily look at that. They look at the proficiency scores, but as a district, from my perspective, that growth is a lot more important. It's a lot more impactful for the kids to see that growth rather than just that proficiency piece.
And our teachers have that in mind, because I know even my daughter, I mean, she's way smarter than me anyways, but her reading level is really high, and so she aced it, I guess, the highest score you could get, and they're like, we're actually going to put her in the high school test just so we can see how high that can go, just so we kind of know. And I'm like, they could have easily just said great, just have her keep testing. Yep. But it's no, we're going to just test them and see how high. And I'm sure there's that class is competitive. I'm sure there's some others in that class that are right there with them, because I know them, they're smart. But anyways, thanks for sharing that. I think sometimes it's important. We wanted to have you on here today, especially where we talk about sports a lot. And we do feel sports are so important, but we don't want people to forget that academics is a huge part of it. And you said that they work hand in hand, and we want to remind everybody about that. And we do have a few more questions. One we ask everybody, so we better ask it before we forget. This is a fun one for you, though. So this is kind of how you got on here, by the way. So I can't remember who said it, but who would you like to see on the podcast? This could be another teacher, staff member. It could be a community member. But who is somebody you're you know what? I would love to hear them on the podcast. And you could even add to it if you want and give us an idea of how do you want that directed? I mean, we directed yours towards what's going on at the school and academics and stuff, but yeah.
Boy, that's a tough one. Who?
Yeah, think about this for a second, because whoever you say, Gavin is hunting them. He's going for him. He has no fear. That's what I love about Gavin. He will call them up and say, hey, we've had a few that are please don't ever put me on that. We're okay, we're not going to do that to you because we care about you too much. We didn't really care if you wanted to be on or not. We were just going to throw you on here anyway. So
well, yeah, I mean
it kind of comes with the job. So too bad.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you just it comes and you do it. Shoot, that is. I got a lot of names running through my head right now, and I'm trying to figure out
You can go like top 2 if you want. 3. Just start naming them.
Where you go comical, or
Yeah.
you want more serious, or that type of thing.
Yeah.
You know who'd be good, and he'll appreciate this. Randy Bounds.
Randy Bounds, Gavin.
I think that would be fun. I don't know if.
Can we put
I
that
don't know
like
if
in a
he'll
school
go
board
for
thing?
it.
Like, hey, if you sign on the school board, you have to go on the podcast. Like, I mean,
Add it to their responsibilities.
yeah, we'll save some stuff. Randy, I mean, I finally got him to old man basketball. It took years, but he did come and he played well. So I mean, we'll give him that. And then he played against his son in the basketball this year when we had parents playing against their kids, and it was pretty fun to. I think Brody blocked him. It was awesome. So we'll get him on here. Give him a chance to defend himself.
He'd be fun.
If he doesn't get on here, then yeah, I know how to convince him. We'll tell him what question we'll ask and try to. We'll ask him what time should the school board meetings be and see if that will get him on here. But we can't have it answered unless he's on here, Gavin. Hunt him down.
The hard thing you're gonna have to do is it may be at midnight because they're starting planting season. But
well, this stuff can be here for a long time. So we, whether we get him this year or next year, like he's on the list. We'll just keep asking.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, if anybody else comes to your mind, throw it out there. Gavin, do you have any questions kind of wrap this up a little bit? But, Mr. Ketterling, just so you know, this doesn't get you off the hook all the way. I'm sure we're going to have you back on here sometimes as we continue to work on this. But, we just wanted to throw a short one out there. I think a lot of people, is there anything you'd like to share with the community? I mean, I know that this is still pretty new, so I don't know how many people are actually following it and watching it and stuff. But there are people that do watch it. Is there anything you would like to share with them? Just as people are like 4 years, like it seems like a lot, but in some ways it is, and in some ways it's not, right? Like you're still probably meeting people or learning connections every day. But is there anything that you would like to share, to the community or anything at all?
Yeah, it's been 4 years, and it doesn't feel like it's been 4 years. It's gone pretty fast. There's been a lot of things that have happened in those 4 years, and still, yeah, I mean, there's tons of people I haven't met that I still meet, and making connections and things like that. And one thing I will say is that, and people that are closer to me in the district or have a stronger relationship with me, kind of see this, but those outside of that circle and kind of that piece is. I'm a pretty big introvert. It's difficult for me to just go meet people and to go up and talk to people, and so that's something that I continually push myself out of that comfort zone. And so, if I'm not coming up to you at a game or I don't say hi or anything, it's not because I don't like you. It's not because I'm ignoring you. It's kind of one of those things that's just part of my personality. And so what I would say, I try to do a good job of that, but if you want to come talk to me, you want to come say hi to me, feel free to.
They're lining up now.
Get everybody at next year's
I'm more than happy to have conversations and meet people, but I think sometimes that that persona gets put out there because when I come to events and things like that, I probably come off as being pretty serious, and maybe people don't want to come and have a conversation with me, potentially because of my title in the district and whatever. But I'm just another person here to try and make things the best they can for Adrian, and if you want to come chat with me, you want to come ask me questions, feel free.
We didn't ask all the questions you wanted. There's still the mysteries there. I mean, we don't even know if he's a Duke fan, but hopefully not anybody watching March Madness, because we know
My
UNC.
Blue Devils.
Oh, you're a Duke
UNC
fan?
went out way. I'm a huge Blue Devils.
Oh,
yes.
no. What?
And that was a crushing game.
Gavin, you got to screen this stuff, dude. We don't let Duke fans on here.
Up by 19, and UConn came back and won it in the last seconds. That killed me. Oh, it was rough.
I was so happy, and I'm letting all these kids know it because they know that I'm a UNC fan, and you can't like both. So,
and just to clarify, I'm not a bandwagon Duke fan. I've been a Duke fan since Coach K's been there, all the way back to when I was in grade school. So I've got tons of his books. I listen to him all the time. So I'm not one of those bandwagon Duke fans. Yeah, that one hurt my heart, just like last year. Same type scenario.
Hector, are you in here? Did you hear that? There's another fan out there crushed because of Duke choking. I've been teaching the kids. Vocab word of the day, choke, and then I said equals Duke because I don't like Duke. So anyways, throwing it out there.
They made it farther than the Tar Heels.
This year, yeah. Anyways, Gavin, you have anything else? We've really got to finish up here.
All right,
but
so my finisher, Mr. Ketterling, what is the weirdest thing in your fridge?
Ooh. Gavin.
That's interesting. The weirdest thing in my fridge.
Weirdest food, anything.
I'm trying to think what was in there this morning. I won't go with the weirdest, but I will go with the grossest. So my girls and my wife love deviled eggs, and I despise their smell. And they made them this weekend, and they get worse as they sit longer. The smell does, and so they take them out for their lunches every day. And every morning I'm trying to not puke in the kitchen.
Wow.
So
Another mystery solved right there.
Yeah. So not weird, but it's a struggle.
No deviled eggs for Easter. Just bring him sugar.
Yep.
Yeah,
There you go. That's what we've learned today.
Just what I need.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, the weirdest thing in a fridge, like it's probably something that we haven't seen in like 3 months sitting in the back and
Yep.
you don't know what it
Yeah.
is
Yep.
anymore.
Yep.
It's growing fur on it.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Well, Gavin, anything you want to say to the community that's listening? Shout out when.
We'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, make sure to like it, share it, subscribe it, talk to other people. We really want to build, especially anybody in our community, our alumni, but anybody else, we just want to continue to build this where we can start asking questions that you guys want. So on the website, go there, check it out. While you're looking at our sponsors' videos that these kids have made in the class, go to the Google Forms there and say, who do you want to hear from? What questions do you want asked? And we'll see the best we can do to do that. But thank you, Mr. Ketterling, for spending a little bit of time to come on here, and we'll get this one up quickly. Thank you.
All right. Go
All
Lopes.
right. Yes.